I was slightly disappointed to discover that there wasn't as many villains as I was expecting, but again, I can respect that they did not make this game purely about pumping out famous villains with no true part in the storyline. Although I must also state that I think that perhaps there were too many encounters with Scarecrow. I considered showing all the villains in the game in this review, but I was not sure how much of the game to give away, so I hope retaining some of the game's story was a wise decision for this review. But there are some good villain encounters in here, so fear not. But just don't expect a gang rape of every known villain. There is at least a fairly expansive collection of character bios you can unlock, with some that have audio patient interview clips and the very mysterious Chronicles of Arkham, which all tell some intriguing tales, all adding to a very immersive Batman experience.
I'd like to talk about your childhood.
Miserable. Next.
By all accounts, that is where your fascination with riddles began.
So I highly recommend completing this game as completely as possible, which usually when done in a game has little meaning, but in this game it's done very, very well in making you feel that everything you're doing is important and expands on the story.
Sherlock, do you want me to look at the ink blots again? The first one is a kitten I had when I was a child. The second is, let's see, a dead elephant.
So just like with the rest of the game, the sound production, everything to do with what you hear is all done very, very well. And that goes right down to the voice acting, which much of the game's characters are voiced by actors from the highly appreciated animated series which aired from 1992 to 1995. In particular, Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker, and Arlene Sorkin as Harley Quinn. And others, of course, from that series. And I personally couldn't have asked for a better cast to do the voice acting, because I love that series and I love the voices, and they're generally who I have in my mind as the voices of those characters. Another aspect of this game which made me think of BioShock was the audio production. So the sound really adds to the various moods, atmospheres, and locations throughout the game. I was also never really bombarded with any kind of sound or music. There were some scenes with music playing, but it was all done in a way that only immersed me more into the game. While I wouldn't say this game is better in that department than BioShock, I can definitely see a trend of this game really understanding what makes a great game and what is important to people that play it. And of course the sound effects used for punches, kicks, batterings, and any other bit of action really feel like a punch or a kick to the face. The sound department overall continues the trend of immersing you into the role of Batman. The graphics in this game are nothing short of astonishing. Just look at the detail involved with this cape. I mean, how realistically it flows must have been quite an undertaking by the studio. They don't use fully pre-rendered CGI cutscenes throughout the whole game, but the game character design and model detail are so well done, it doesn't really matter too much. Look at the detail of his juxtaposition. Is this some epic juxtaposition or what? Another level of detail to mention is throughout the entire game I maybe saw Batman just barely miss his mark while doing one of those slow motion finishing kicks or punches, which, you know, usually in a game something will go wrong with the game's calculations and he'll end up kicking his wrist or something and making Batman look really stupid. But in this game they did a very good job at whatever they did to make it accurate. While texture, sound design, voice animation, and nearly all aspects of production quality of the game are nearly perfect, there are a few things worth mentioning that aren't perfect.
You're safe now.
But it's a trap.
The voice to mouth sync was very good, but some of the facial muscle animations during speech are notably unanimated and stiff looking.
Do that, Bats. Oh, what the hell? Get down there, boys.
It's not a big deal, but I noticed it, and it should be noted that this issue in games is more a limit of the hardware and programming environments than a sign of the developer not caring about details, because it is in just about every game ever, so, but it does look very good. The foliage detail is sometimes not so good looking, and it's also another long-running issue with many games, so I do forgive Rocksteady, but it is worth mentioning. Also, we can see the water is not perfect, but again, I don't recall water ever looking this good. I mean, just look at it. The controls have two preset types, Type A and Type B. There is no reconfiguration option to remap the controls, but really, I got used to the controls so fast I never even thought too much about them except to mention them in this review. When you first start playing the game, you might go, where's the jump button? But fear not, there's very innovative control mechanics at work here, and if you hold down the run button and you come to a place where Batman needs to jump, he will just jump. It may sound wrong, but believe me, there's nothing broken about the controls in this game.
Ding dong, generator.
Warning. Security breach in level B3.
Hey, Batman!
Unfortunately, you can't hit the good guys, or knock them out, or do anything to them. Batarangs just bounce off of them, which to me, that's kind of like, you know, a bummer. I always like to torment the good guys.
You hear me? If you can, help's on the way.
Too bad.
I can still see people alive in the room. I can see people. They're still moving. Oh God. Oh God. Why are they making that noise? Oh my God. They're all dying in there!
But there are some situations where you can choose to not help the good guys.
I'm going after the animal who did this.
Batman! The extraction system! Steve was trying to get to the control panel at the end of the room! I can't believe he left me here! That son of a... Oh, great.
B-Man! Mr. J doesn't want you following.
I don't know why
us
Harley
just
Quinn is in a miniskirt, except maybe sex appeal, but it just seems a bit out of character for her in my opinion. and there are several scenes which seem to draw some attention to certain parts of her body. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying it's all. Poison Ivy is also very sexed up, but that's her character profile. And I expected that from her, but for some reason Harley Quinn is just like a sister or something, and so it's kind of weird to see her trying to be sexy. It's just kind of awkward for her in my opinion.